In a world where all of the mountains have been climbed and continents mapped, there is still one more frontier. Hundreds of feet below the surface, miles of hidden caves and passageways are still being explored, still being discovered every day by scientists, adventurers, and visitors like you. Every year, nearly 500,000 people venture into one of the world's great natural wonders, Carlsbad Caverns. And every one of them will make remarkable discoveries. Buried deep beneath the Guadalupe Mountains, 750 feet below the surface, is the largest cave chamber in the entire country, the Big Room.
This is amazing.
This room is so big, the entire U.S. Capitol building could fit in here 2 times over. And it is just one chamber in more than 100 caves at Carlsbad Caverns National Park. To understand how this enormous cavern was formed, we have to travel deep into the past. "265 to 260 million years ago, a reef of sponges and algae grew along the edge of an inland sea. Building upward and outward, the reef grew atop its ancestors that had turned into limestone. This sea was cut off from the ocean and slowly evaporated, exposing the reef rock. As fresh water and brine mixed along fractures, limestone dissolved, forming interconnected cavities in this zone of mixed water. Eventually, the basin and reef were completely buried under evaporite salts. As the Guadalupe Mountains were forced upward, a section of buried reef became exposed above the water table, and caves began to form. Unlike most caves, current research suggests that microbes thriving in the petroleum reservoirs around the reef released hydrogen sulfide gas, which mixed with oxygen at and above the water table in the air-filled cavities to form sulfuric acid. Microbial processes help speed this reaction. This reaction formed a gypsum rind that repeatedly peeled off and fell to the floor, enlarging the cavities into the huge chambers you see today. Then, drip by drip, over the past million years, Carlsbad Caverns decorated itself with the amazing formations we see today. Stalagmites and stalactites, soda straws, draperies, cave pearls, and popcorn. These incredibly delicate and fragile natural art forms are known as speleothems. The lion's tail, twin domes, the chandelier. This underground wonderland continues to grow, slowly adorning itself with new speleothems to this very day. As recently as 3 decades ago, researchers believed caves were stark environments of nothing but rock. Then, scientists made an astonishing discovery. Microscopic bacteria that can survive in conditions unbearable for most other life forms. They are known as extremophiles, and even NASA is intrigued by them. Scientist Penny Boston is studying these microbes to get a sense of what life might eventually be found on other planets.
One of the things that has motivated me ever since I was a kid is the desire to go explore places that have never been seen. As I got into science as an adult, what I realized was that there were magnificent life forms right here on this planet that you knew almost nothing about, and they were in the subsurface, and every cave practically is a planet all unto itself. Because when I look at Carlsbad, I often think about how the same chemistries are probably at work in the subsurface of Mars.
This is state-of-the-art research of life on the edge.
What we see is the apparent lifeless surface of a planet like Mars, and underneath that surface, there may be the kinds of chemicals that life needs. And so going into the cave environment for me is my way of exploring the universe.
Some believe the microbes in these caves may also hold the key to new antibiotics and medicines that could one day help in our fight against cancer. Yet it's not only microscopic new life forms being discovered. Whole new cave systems are being found, like Lechuguilla Cave. In 1986, cave explorers dug through a rock and sediment plug in Lechuguilla Cave. What they uncovered was incredible. One of the largest cave systems in the world. Ranger Stan Allison is one of the few people to have explored Lechuguilla Cave many times.
There's really no ranking for what is the most beautiful cave in the world. There's no way to measure that. But a lot of cavers who've seen many caves in the world and who've been to Lechuguilla Cave say that it's one of the most beautiful caves in the world. Exploration is really one of the exciting things going on in Lechuguilla, and really on Earth there aren't a lot of places that you can go that someone hasn't been before. And in Lechuguilla Cave, every year they explore another few miles of cave that no one's ever seen, and no one really has a good idea as to how much remains. But there's still a lot of exploration to be done in Lechuguilla Cave.
Over 135 miles of passages have been surveyed so far, and no one knows where it will end. At Carlsbad Caverns National Park, anyone can be an explorer.
Lots of different formations that we saw in the rest.
You can hike into the caves with park rangers and venture into places where cutting-edge research and exploration are being done. All it takes is a few precautions for your safety and for the protection of the caves themselves. Remember, even a simple touch can harm these walls forever. With a park ranger as your guide, it's a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. While human explorers are just visitors in these caves, there are many animals that call them home. Every year, a colony of Brazilian free-tailed bats settle into the caverns for the summer. And every night, they emerge from the depths, sweeping out of the caves and into the quiet of a summer evening. They come looking for a meal of moths and other insects, several tons of them every night. To learn more about these remarkable creatures, Dr. Nick Christoff has come to Carlsbad to study them.
They don't have to relate to the same thing because we're synchronizing each shot of the camera.
Carlsbad is unique because the bats live in a portion of the cave And to emerge on the surface, they have to fly for half a kilometer every night. That is interesting because we get to observe their flight behavior and their organization in a way that we can't do anywhere else. We want to know how they fly individually, how they fly in a group, how do you move that many individuals out of the cave at the same time.
Using cutting-edge technology, he is able to see these bats in a brand new way.
We have cameras that record in thousands of frames per second. So what will be visible is the movement of the bats individually and as a colony. And there's a lot of stunning detail. We can see the movement of individual wings, we can see the trajectories of individual bats, we can see their efficiency with which they fly. And we're starting to understand things that research has been after for many, many years. And I think we're very close to some amazing discoveries as a result of this work.
As the bats emerge from the cave and darkness falls, the night shift begins. By being active at night, these animals beat the heat, conserve water, avoid predators, and do not compete with the day shift for the same food sources. At first glance, this landscape may seem harsh and austere. But out here, the sun rises each morning on life perfectly adapted to thrive in the desert environment. Both plants and animals have developed unique ways of surviving with limited water, in extreme heat, and in bitter cold. Adaptations that allow them to take advantage of the immense and ever-changing desert habitat. Carlsbad Caverns National Park is more than a cave system. This World Heritage Site encompasses 47,000 acres, including 33,000 acres of stunning wilderness in the Guadalupe mountain range. Dazzling landscapes above and spectacular caves below are connected, intertwined in one great ecosystem known as the Northern Chihuahuan Desert. All linked in ways we are only just beginning to understand. From the windy mountaintops to the winding passages deep beneath the surface, journeys of discovery to hidden worlds go on. Each new explorer is encouraged to become a guardian of these unique places, so they are protected for generations to come. Your adventure is just beginning.